8 Ferrari F50. Break it down.
Thank you, 50 Cent. Yes, it is our number 50
episode
Jesus. Here. That's right, number 50.
He even thanks 50 Cent.
And let's get into it because, like you
50
said...
50 Cent had nothing to do with none of this.
I know he had nothing to do with it.
And none of us are gangsters or wanksters. So
I just like the intro to it because this episode number 50, man. Ironically, I had to use 50 Cent, but...
We could have just said that.
Yeah, whatever. Welcome to the Balls in Your Court podcast. Cortez Paul is here. I got Kevin Carter joining us as well as usual. And then we got the weekend correspondent. He's not really a weekend correspondent. We're just going to call him Mr. John Orr. How you doing today, John?
I'm the original wankster over here, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me in the club. I'm
that dude. 50
enough 50 Cent puns.
All right. I guess this 50 Cent thing didn't go over too well. I was trying to use 50 Cent just to be number 50, but...
Yes, I always went to the candy shop.
That thing is not even a quarter of the way through this podcast yet.
John, I just saw that thing you sent me on Facebook. That's what I was laughing about.
Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. There's some... Jameis Winston is what Florida State is now going to be under investigation. FSU intern President Garnett Stokes and VP of Student Affairs noted Winston that he could be charged with 4 violations, which 2 are sexual conduct.
Under the code of conduct for the university.
So Winston
what the hell you say? A scandal at Florida State?
I know.
So Winston has 5 days to schedule information here. And so, Kevin, I know you want to talk a little bit more about this. So
I'm not even going to talk about that part. That part I don't give a crap about. The other part I cared about was the other stuff that came out, that there was a big, giant cover-up by the police department and the university and everything to keep him playing football. That's the part that gets me, and like we were talking about earlier before we came on, this isn't the first time that universities have been covering up stuff for their athletes.
Oh, he's gonna go steal my thunder. I'm the one that reminded him.
No, I'm gonna let you do it. As John reminded me, this isn't the first time. But they showed a timeline on all the stuff that has happened at Florida State, just all the stuff in general, and everything has been covered up because as soon as one of the guys that are getting arrested or have done something stupid go, we play for the football team, it gets null and void, and they go ahead and cut it out and don't go any further into it.
Right.
And before everybody starts with the Florida's doing a cover-up thing and everything like that, the girl in the Jameis Winston case hasn't ever backed away from anything against him. She hasn't said that I didn't do it or he didn't do it. I was just lying. I'm going to drop the charges. I'm not going to try to press anything. She hasn't done none of that. Whether at Florida they pushed this girl into doing this or whatever, Florida still handled it the right way by suspending him. Florida State still hasn't suspended him for this.
Right.
Still hasn't suspended him for all the dumb things that he's done. They suspended him 1 game for jumping on a table. But was that for the whole cumulative effect, or was it that one incident that he does? Right. Is there a reason that the athletic director at Florida State wants him gone that no one else knows about? So it's one of those things to where it was just very poorly handled by the police department and by the university. It was very poorly handled. And they should be held accountable. If that was the case, if everything that's coming out is true, if that was the case, then Florida State needs to be held really responsible because this is just wrong as far as not getting justice for that girl. And if I was her daddy, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. All right, you want to add this, John? No, you want to add some things to this? Let's hear what you got to say, sir.
The NCAA is backwards again. It goes beyond schools. What I believe is there's such a bias in some of these college towns, such as Tallahassee and Gainesville, Tuscaloosa, Lincoln, for example. We all know stuff like this goes on. So why are you going to put somebody in charge of a rape case or a case like that where there might be a chance of potential bias, or there might be a chance the integrity of the investigating officers, the investigating officials may be called into question because of that bias in that town. I believe the NCAA should have independent detectives or independent investigating agents that would come in when a rape case is being handled, that would come in when a domestic assault case is being handled. I believe the NCAA should have a team set up for this to eliminate the chance of a bias or a cover-up in one of these big university schools. There's too much at stake, and football, for example, it happens in basketball, it happens in college sports around the country, but football is a prime example, especially down in the South. College football is a big thing. Gainesville, Florida is a shit town, but it's got the University of Florida. Tallahassee is not much better. Fayetteville, Arkansas is another one, and all they got is the university. They branch and they put everything on that university, especially on the football team, to bring in revenue, to bring in money, to bring in fans. Everything is based on that. So when a rape case, for example, comes up, you've got the investigating officers or the university's police department. There's a huge chance of a bias there. Why doesn't the NCAA have their own team of investigators that solely work for the NCAA that go in and handle and investigate these cases? Why are you leaving on the hands of the local police departments? And even if the local police department does need to handle it because it's a crime, the NCAA should still have their people down there involved in it. And it doesn't seem like they are. And as I mentioned to Kevin off the podcast, and it got lost in the wash somewhere, but this ain't the first time it's been a cover-up. The 1994 and 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers team was the most motley crew of people. And that was all covered up because they were a good football team, and it was covered up by the Lincoln Police Department. This is not the first time it's happened. This is why I call the NCAA on the carpet. Let's look at Penn State. The horrible cover-up over there a couple years ago. I put this on the NCAA. They're investigating the wrong things. Who gives a shit if a guy is selling his autograph and his likeness for money when you have innocent women being raped and you have children being molested by these same people? Who gives a shit about the little things? Let's focus on the big problem. The NCAA needs to have should have a team of investigators that go in and handle this. And they should wield the authority by represented by the NCAA. If they feel the need to suspend that player while the investigation is being brought on, they should be able to. The NCAA, once again, is a broken system.
So I guess I want to add a question because everybody always talk about, NCAA, the college football is always, I guess I enjoy it so much more because they get into it.
It's more the kids are playing for the love of the game.
Love of the game.
But
you get caught in with stuff like the girl and everything like that. How bad the NCAA is taking a hit over recent prior decades?
Well, how bad they should be taking a hit is Todd Gurley's not playing today for signing autographs. Not playing at all. Jameis Winston is involved in many different types of cases, still playing football.
But you know what it comes down to? It comes down to money.
Yep.
Because you know what? It's just like, the old saying, don't steal, the government hates competition.
Mm-hmm.
Don't steal, the NCAA hates competition. How dare you make money off your likeness when the NCAA can do it?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you make money off your likeness when Georgia can do it,
But it's okay to make likeness off of a guy. What I'm saying is it's completely ass backwards that you're suspending people for things like that, but you're not suspending people for things that actually are criminal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, exactly. Now, unfortunately in this case, even if they find out that Jameis Winston did, in fact, rape this young lady, he's already been cleared. Double jeopardy can't come into effect here. And that is unfortunate. However, I would say if they do another investigation and find out, in fact, Winston was guilty, I would support a stripping of the Heisman Trophy and the national championship.
Oh, yeah. If you're
going to do it to Reggie Bush for making money off his likeness, you need to do it to Florida State and Jameis Winston for the way they handled this case.
Yeah, it has been.
I do fully support you stripping them of the Heisman Trophy and stripping him of stripping Florida State of the national championship.
But it ain't just the rape charges and everything against him that kills me. It was everything else as well.
See, I can overlook petty shoplifting.
No, I'm talking about going around shooting up an apartment building, causing tens of $1,000s worth of damages.
Yeah, well, see, in the big picture, Kevin, I can look past that.
And the people's cars.
Yeah,
well, the people that you were shooting up their cars, they can't look past it because you did damage where you're not. That's a criminal offense. If it was me, you, or Cortez rolling around the neighborhood shooting out people's windows, we'd be in jail right now.
Absolutely, but I can overlook all that. They fucked that up. I can overlook that, whatever. It ain't the first time a college athlete's gotten off on a criminal mischief charge.
A guy...
I can't overlook if they find out he, in fact,
if they
not
find
even
out
raped her, but in some way, shape, or form was involved, set her up, brought her in there. He was involved in it happening. Even if there wasn't, for lack of a better word, insertion on the part of Jameis Winston. If he was involved and they find out this cover-up got him out of it, I would fully support the NCAA giving him what I call the Reggie Bush treatment.
And they should.
Giving him the Reggie Bush treatment,
and they should
taking the title from Florida State
hugely.
But where does what I find unfortunate in all this is what's going to happen to Jimbo Fisher if all this comes out?
Bye.
But is it really his fault?
Did Joe Paterno get sent out?
That was a different thing. That was a member of his coaching staff, and Paterno had knowledge of it. I've defended Paterno. That's slightly different.
So you're going to say Jimbo Fisher has no knowledge.
Let me finish. This is an isolated incident of a jackass kid. I don't think Fisher goes, but I do think, and I love the word interim president. Interim is only used when the previous guy fucked up and they haven't found a replacement yet. I love the term interim president because the interim president of Florida State's going to do it. That means the guy in front of him fucked up and was not doing his job properly.
Neither is he, apparently.
But he's apparently trying to fix something. But I would not be surprised if it's all said and done, and they find out Winston had something to do with this. If 2014 is like 2006, we don't have a national champion or a Heisman Trophy.
No one won.
Would not surprise me. But it comes back down to he was acquitted, yes, but he hasn't learned. He keeps doing stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hurting his draft stock. I don't know what to say. It's like you want to grab the kid. I know he's 20, and like I said with Johnny Manziel, being 20 is not an excuse. You're a grown man. If you can enlist in the military or get a credit card, you're a grown man. You know what I'm saying? But I wish someone would just grab the kid and go slap him across the face once, like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, and go, do you realize what the hell you're putting at risk for yourself and your family? Grow up. Someone just needs he needs a good old-fashioned ass whooping from his daddy. You know what I'm talking about?
Or Adrian
Peterson. Someone just needs to grab him up by the shoulders, shake the shit out of him, and go, do you realize what you have at stake here? Do you realize what you're putting at risk here? He thinks he's invincible.
But he's an idiot.
But that's what they're building. It's a typical because he can do something better than somebody else. He thinks he's invincible.
Yep.
Well, this is that godlike complex that he's having that everybody was talking about. They probably boost his head thinking, well, you're this great prospect, and he believed that he's better than everybody and caused him to do stupid stuff like this, like you and Kevin have mentioned. So,
show a little humility. You got suspended for the Clemson game. Why the fuck are you coming out fully dressed? Show a little humility.
Yeah,
because he's slowly losing support.
And then Jimbo Fisher goes, my fault.